Hi everyone, it's Mitch. It's Tuesday, December 23rd. We got a college football game tonight, and it's a nice matchup. Um, we got a heat wave going on in Chicago. We're up to 17 degrees. Of course, they're calling to 6 to 10 inches of snow, but such is the price you pay if you want the balmy weather. In any event, let's talk about this college football game. TCU Horned Frogs 10-2 taking on the Boise State Broncos 12-0. San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl. How's that for a name? Yeah, we're gonna call it the Poinsettia Bowl if we refer to it again, and more than likely we're just gonna call it this game. In any event, you know, TCU laying 3 points with the 10 with even though they have the two losses. They have a fabulous defense. Coach Gary Patterson has amassed, really one of the great defenses this year. There's been just, in a game where we in a year where we've seen just so many points scored, there are a few teams out there that really play some serious defense. USC Trojans is one of them. This is another one of them, and they're just fantastic. They're fun to watch. I love to watch hard hitting. I like to watch a defense that gets enthused. That Ray Lewis chest pounding. When they make the hard hit and the good tackle, even if the other team gets a yard or two. They don't just celebrate the sack; they celebrate the tackle, and they have a reason to because they tackle with a purpose. And what they do is they intimidate other teams, and the other teams they don't want to play anymore. And that's a great style of defense. It's worked for a lot of teams in the past. You have guys that they don't want to run the ball anymore because they don't want to take that lick. On the other side of the ball, though, for TCU, their offense, they have a nice running game, one of the best running games actually in the country. Their passing game is almost non-existent, kind of like the Navy syndrome. Not quite to that level. TCU can throw the ball, but not much. If they get behind, they could possibly be in some big trouble. And we saw that in Norman, Oklahoma, where they got behind and they could do nothing at that point. All they did was get penalized a ton. And that's the type of team that TCU has is, they play, defense sets the tone. So if they get behind, their defense can't set the tone anymore, and then they just get a lot of penalties on them. So, we'll see what happens tonight because in Boise, we got a team that plays some serious defense as well. Highly underrated. Everyone knows that I love Boise all year long. We've had to jump on the Boise point spreads pretty early in a lot of games because Boise was laying so many points against a lot of the lesser teams. A lot of those games came in right around the number. We're talking like in the 30s, where Boise was winning, and the point spreads were right around 35. I think they pushed, depending on where you got in, 3 weeks in a row, and both laying in the 30s in points. So, the Boise offense, they can score some points. They still have Ian Johnson. He's not the main man anymore. We want to say goodbye to Ian Johnson. I mean, maybe he plays in the Senior Bowl, maybe he plays in the pros, but the memories that he's given us as a college football fans, I mean, unmatched. That Statue of Liberty going for two against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl will go down as one of the greatest plays in college football history, no matter whatever happens in the future of college football. It was an amazing game and an amazing play, and it was Ian Johnson, and we wish him well. And tonight's his send-off party, and I think Boise's going to really send him off a winner too. Quarterback Kellen Moore, he can distribute the ball. He's a freshman, plays like a fifth-year senior. This kid is ice water in his veins. He is phenomenal. The Boise defense is so underrated as well. Third-ranked scoring defense in the country. Yeah, they've played a pretty light schedule, but so has TCU. When TCU has been asked to step it up against Oklahoma and Utah, they didn't get it done. They played well against Utah. They played well enough to win. Their kicker didn't convert the field goals. They didn't win the game. There are other opportunities in games like that where teams can win and lose games. TCU didn't take advantage of any of those opportunities. They did not win that game. They lost to Utah 10-2. Boise, on the other hand, Chris Peterson is a winner. I mean, this guy, he is one of the most winning, smiling coaches that you see on the sidelines. He knows how to drive the dagger home, and he does it with a smile on his face, and he does it straight face. He never looks to have regret when he's running up the score on other teams. He doesn't let other teams back in the game. He doesn't call the dogs off. Chris Peterson continues to run the score up on teams. He has no problem running 50, 60 points on anybody because he knows that the game isn't over until it's over. It's a strategy that works for him. He doesn't take a lot of heat for it because his team isn't that well publicized, and people kind of expect Boise to score 50. So, Chris Peterson, when he's driving that dagger home, he doesn't take a lot of heat for it, and he always does it with a smile on his face. And I like the way he does that because he never takes his foot off the gas. And that's what it takes to win in college football today. In a day where you see these miracle comebacks, where you see, the balls bounce against you, Chris Peterson doesn't allow that to happen because he never takes his foot off the gas. He doesn't say, well, this guy should get some time and this guy no. We're going to win this football game. We'll worry about that other stuff later. And that's why, Ian Johnson doesn't play as much as he used to because they have other exciting players that, they distribute the ball around so well. They play defense. They're a balanced team. I like Boise in this one. I don't think this game is as close as people think it's going to be. I think Boise takes them out, and I think they take them out pretty easily. So in any event, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. We're on Boise. We've been on them all year long. We love Boise. Have a great day. We'll see you in the chat room. We'll see you in the forum. It's going to be, welcome to the bowl season.